Well, Unsung has been on the air now for 7-8 years. We've profiled over 100 artists. Almost all of them have never had a chance to be profiled before, so we feel like we've had a chance to create a legacy that might not otherwise exist. And we're talking about artists, although the series is called Unsung, that if you're a fan of R&B, soul music, hip-hop, really the classic firmament of American music of the last 50 or 60 years, you will know these artists. And I think, our audience has shown that they're really glad to get a chance to see what their lives as well as their music has been about.
Gotcha. And with the resurgence of Tupac news and everything else, would that be something that you guys like to cover?
Well, that's an interesting question because Tupac's one of those characters whose story has been told many times, many different ways. I think I would never say no to Tupac because I'm sure these gentlemen would tell his story in their own unique way. So I would never say no. But it is going down one of those roads where his story has been told so many ways and so many times. I wouldn't want to rehash the same thing. So, but I would leave that up. I would like to ask that question to Frank. Frank, what do you think about Tupac?
The truth is that's not necessarily where our series lives. Our series lives in telling the stories that we haven't heard, not ripping things from the front page of the newspaper. So, and as Juba said, there's very little that hasn't been said about Tupac to this point. So the sweet spot is really the stories you haven't heard.
But on the other hand, his legacy is so far-reaching that it may be that we're going to come up, to try to shine an original angle on perhaps, ways in which his legacy is spread to other artists. So there's a possibility always. Tupac has figured in a lot of our shows because he's impacted a lot of the artists that we profiled.
And is there any other artists that you have a wish list for?
Oh, I got a long wish list.
Yeah, we got a few. We got the calls out right now, so we'll wait until they tell us yes or no.
Sherilyn, if you're out there, we've been looking for you for a long time. Sherilyn, where are you?
That's Juba's. That's for Juba. We need it.
Yeah. You guys heard on the way here, Maurice White passed away today. Again, he's one of the...
I actually just heard that news literally a few minutes ago on the line, and it was a little shocking for me. I've been buried, and I'll just repeat what I said earlier, which was it took me back to my childhood, to my family in the living room, listening to Earth, Wind & Fire, listening to his voice, which was so unique, and I got literally a shiver because my parents aren't with me anymore, but it took me immediately to that moment of in the living room as a kid, listening to them party, have card parties, have rent parties, and Earth, Wind & Fire was a part of that experience. So it feels like a part of hearing that news shattered a little bit of the fabric of my young childhood.
Yeah, and being a little older, it shattered the fabric of my early 20s, I think, because I bought all those records, when they came out, and I grew up to them and definitely was part of plenty of dance parties and dance scenes, and just over the years grew more and more an appreciation for the kind of craft behind it as well, and just the enduring quality. They're giants. They're real giants. We've never profiled them for Unsung in part because they seem too big for our room, but it's just really stunning and a little sobering, to discover that he's kind of left the air that we're in right now, but that the air is still inhabited by the music that he's left us and will for a long, long time.
What is one of your favorite? I know it's like asking what's your favorite child is. What would be one of your favorite? Like you said, we really nailed it on this one.
Yeah. I was saying it a little earlier, I have a special soft spot for Bobby Womack. I also have one for Zapp and Roger because they opened up so much of what was really a heart-rending tale that struck close to home, and they'd never done that before. And I got to say, I just love Rick James, and I'm just really glad that we were able to kind of give that a little bit of a turn. And, just completing a quartet, I felt like Ike Turner. It's a show that we were able to give a different kind of light on that had never really been seen or explored before, and I think our fans kind of appreciated hearing about some things they never knew about.
Frank?
I'll give you two. Minnie Riperton for me. I can't watch it without crying. I've seen it a dozen times, touched it, and her voice is so beautiful. And David Ruffin, that story, so compelling, and the honesty of the family to be able to tell it. Those are my two favorite children at the moment. Yeah.
But I have about 80 backups.
Yeah, it is a little bit like picking your favorite child, and I'm gonna just go a little different because I could pick a couple, but I'm gonna stick with Big Daddy Kane and Kid and Play because that was hip hop, that was my era. Those stories really made me feel like I was there, and I watched it happen and unfold, and then to watch these guys produce it, the way I remembered it was awesome. So it felt like a very visceral experience to watch Big Daddy Kane and Kid and Play show episodes.
Force MDs and Force MDs.
Well.
That show rocked. That was yeah.
Thank you, fellas, again, for giving us such a great format.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, man.